Hi, and welcome back to the Star by Esther channel.
Today, we're going to be recapping, reviewing, and yeah nah or nah yang episode 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race
Downunder. So, episode 2 is Snatch Game. Snatch Game.
Yeah, Snatch Game. Second episode. Never happened before that it's been this early in the season. A lot of people were also surprised that, thinking that there was, 9 queens is a lot, but other seasons have had that many queens in a Snatch Game.
I think it's good that they got the Snatch Game early because Snatch Game is like one of those challenges where it really shows the good and the bad. It really tests the contestants.
Excuse my makeup today. I was trying something different. I was meant to be my idea was to go with the underwater sort of theme, blue ring octopus, and I don't know, this is experimental. I'll be back to regular programming next week. And I'm going to stick with beautiful, Stick with pretty?
Yep, stick with pretty.
Stick with pretty. We're going to start with
Karen from Finance, who did Dolly Parton. Howdy, Roo.
Gotta be honest, we did the wig for this one, this Dolly wig. No one's done Dolly before. I guess there's a reason why. Because obviously it's quite hard. Karen didn't really live up to what she thought she might do, but the look was great, and yeah, she wasn't the worst.
Like Michelle says, if you're going to impersonate someone who is heavily impersonated, that you need to be just as good or better. I believe that Karen did her version of Dolly, which was good, but probably for Snatch Game, not good enough.
Yeah, I didn't really laugh out loud at Karen.
But I feel like she still did enough. She got over the line.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Next up, Art Simone as Bindi Irwin. As Karen said in the workroom, a weird choice because Bindi doesn't really have much that you can really turn into a caricature.
Maybe when she was younger.
Yeah, like when she was younger, she had like kids' TV show. I don't know if that show was like shown around the world, but yeah.
But it was annoying, and you wanted to. She was one of those kids that you're like, hey, you're annoying, I want to punch you in the face.
I genuinely hated Bindi Irwin when she was a child. Her face just annoyed me, and I don't know, it's always annoyed me, their little, American accent twang. It sort of like irked me. Any children actually that put on that, because obviously Australia is Americanized with our TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Some children tend to pick up that American sort of twang, and it's just like, go away, child, go away. But yeah, and Bindi Irwin, she looks beautiful now. I love Bindi now, but she was a weird-looking, annoying child. Art didn't really do Bindi.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she did, if anything, she did Steve Irwin as Bindi, Aussie and excitable. But really, at the end of the day, Art just did Art. Pumped up the awkwardness,
yeah.
And then tried to make jokes out of it and took Bindi in a direction that doesn't actually make sense with Bindi.
Yeah.
At all.
Can't fault the look, but the jokes were too long, and there was no really big punchlines. Yeah, like there was no big laugh. Next person is Lizzo.
Coco Jumbo as Lizzo.
I feel as if she's fallen into the category of the girls that get overwhelmed with Snatch Game. They're fans of their characters, and they're like, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, oh yeah, rude. I can do it. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be funny. Oh yeah. And then when it comes to the point, they're like, deer in headlights. It's not like she was shit, but she just said what she needed to say. There was no funny jokes. She just answered the questions.
With a Lizzo reference, which wasn't actually funny, it was just a Lizzo reference. Next we have Anita Wiglet as the Queen Elizabeth II. Obviously the standout of Snatch Game. The only thing is, I feel like, she's wearing the hat and the outfit, and that's very much the Queen, wearing canary yellow in a hat. But obviously she's got a very long, thin face, so she doesn't really look like the Queen, other than that it's old age makeup.
She's quite tall. I think she might be like kneeling.
I know the Queen does sort of hunch a little bit.
Just a little
But
bit. She's
she
not
made
the
it seem
tallest.
really,
She's
like,
not the tallest.
meek.
Yeah. She was definitely the funniest. She was able to go back and forth with Rue. Definitely she's the standout. I reckon the old age makeup could have been a little bit better. It does look like an old lady, not necessarily the Queen.
Yeah. It's an old lady with a hat.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Next we have Scarlett Adams as Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge.
I think she did pretty well.
I liked it. I think she did good.
But personally, I think she should have stuck to her guns and done Bindi Owen as well. I reckon like it would have been really cool to have like two Bindis going against each other, and it would have been like. She did good with Jennifer Coolidge. Probably like because she's quite skinny. I think that she needs to fatten up a little bit. So Jennifer Coolidge kind of has a little bit more of like she's got the broad shoulders and the big chest.
Just a bigger like a big breastplate would have made more sense.
Yeah, like
but
maybe borrowed Maxie's.
The look wasn't really there, but I think the voice was okay, and she had a few good jokes.
Michelle and all that, the judges were like, it's just her jokes and she's funny, and at the end of the day it worked. You know what I mean? Like, so the look kind of maybe made it a little bit harder to be like, oh, is that Jennifer Coolidge? Because the voice and the jokes were good.
Next we have Electra Shock as Catherine O'Hara / Moira Rose. I know that lots of people have said that the Moira Rose wasn't spot on, but I think that it was pretty good. From what I've seen of the character, me and Russell haven't watched Schitt's Creek, sorry, but from what I've seen of the snippets of Moira Rose and other people impersonating Moira Rose, I think it was pretty spot on.
Yeah, maybe that's because we haven't watched it. I reckon if we've watched Schitt's Creek, we would be agreeing with the people. Not the best, but a mediocre meh. Next person is Maxie Shield as Magda Zabansky, as a character from a sketch show in the 90s, from Fast Forward, as Lynette something.
I think it's Lynn something.
Lynn. Very spot on character. It sucks because Michelle and Rue didn't know the reference, and so they went to Babe, Pig in the City.
They wouldn't have had clue who this character is.
And Sharon from Kath and Kim. It sometimes kind of brings them out of the character by talking about other characters.
I would have loved to hear, I said love, I said pet, I said love, I said pet,
which
I think maybe
could have been cut out because
maybe they didn't. If the I wonder if the people editing it are Australian.
I wonder if they are and they know the references themselves, because that would have been something good to keep in.
I think Maxie, it looked great, and she was, for the little bits that we did get, it was hilarious. Because I know the reference. Full Frontal, well no, it's not Full Frontal. There's Full Frontal and Fast Forward, old sketch shows from the 90s. If you do want to see more of like all of the Kath and Kim people, Meg Zabansky, Jane Turner, Gina Riley, and a heap of other Australian comedians, a heap of Fast Forward, full episodes are on YouTube. Go and find some and watch them because they're really cool. And it'll get you to know like some more like Australianisms and stuff.
Australian humour as well. A lot of it is probably not PC anymore, but
it's still hilarious.
It's still hilarious, and you need to think about it in that day and age.
Next we have etc. etc. Now, this is one that has divided the nation, I guess you could say, and divided the world, as Lindy Chamberlain, Dingo Ain't My Baby. I personally, me and Russell have very different senses of humour. I love dark humour and jokes that are like, I guess, taboo or on the fence. I thought it was funny. The situation, the story of Lindy Chamberlain sort of has been parodied and made a joke of for many, many, many years. I do understand that it is a sensitive subject and it can come across in a bad way. Russell has some feels on it.
I don't like to be too opinionated. I don't actively go out there and I advocate, but I stand up for what's wrong.
I stand up for what's right. But...
I stand up. I stand up for what's right, and I point out what's wrong. And now I even think about it more. Etc. etc. is a very political.
Yeah.
queen.
True.
She is
Advocating
very
for those things,
vocal
yeah.
on Twitter. She is very vocal online, very vocal in general. And for someone being so young, and I applaud her for that, you know. I applaud those people who are activists and go out there. But I find it funny, someone like that, to then take someone's pain and make a joke of it. Lindy Chamberlain, it was 40 years ago,
Know the story, yeah.
was accused of murdering her child. She was wrongly accused. She was vilified by the press. It was, you know, a dingo ate her baby. But, you know, and that's not funny. It's not funny. And they did do a proper investigation. They found out that a dingo did indeed eat her baby and that she was wrongly accused. But the damage was done.
Yeah.
Since then, she's been parodied. Comedians have taken jokes out of her. This is something that is very painful. There's also been comparisons of people saying, oh, well, what about comments about Princess Diana, comments about Prince Andrew and stuff like that. The fact is, they come from a life of privilege. Nothing's going to really affect them. Yet, Lindy Chamberlain it's kind of like kicking a dog while it's down. Not a dog while it's down. Kicking...
That is the phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't want to put dingo and dog in the same freaking... But you know what I mean? Like, I just think taking someone's pain and making it comedy is not funny. It doesn't matter if other people have done it before, because even that could be saying she's quite young. It happened like twice her age ago. You know what I mean? She's like in her 20s. It happened 40 years ago. She's done the same old jokes. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It wasn't even anything new. I'm not saying this against her person or anything like that. I just think personally, it's bad taste. 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 It's bad taste.
And last but not least, Ketamine as Dr. Zeus. I wouldn't have a clue what Dr. Zeus actually looks like. I assume that Dr. Zeus isn't even a real person.
Yeah, something like that.
So, I don't know. I think it would have been really funny if he did do Carol Baskin.
I liked the
But
rhyming.
it wasn't bad.
The rhyming was cute. She was trying to do something different. She was trying to do something out of the box.
Well, it was bad, but it wasn't completely unfunny.
In Snatch Game, sometimes it can be a hit and a miss. Sometimes when there's people who are like, oh, you're doing that? And then they end up winning. So I think maybe she was like, oh, you know, maybe I can get this with this rhyming thing. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst.
Overall, do you think that the Snatch Game was that bad? Like the worst? Everyone's saying it's like the worst Snatch Game ever.
I don't think it was the best. I don't think it was the worst. The thing is, it's meant to be an impersonation. There should be a little bit of the actual look taken into consideration more so. When do you rarely do impersonations anyway? Besides for Snatch Game 4 Drag Race. And if you do an impersonation, you do the look and you lip sync the song. 50% did good with their jokes and 50% did good with their looks. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was the worst.
There's been bad characters and good characters in every Snatch Game. And to be honest, I feel like Snatch Game has been underwhelming for a few years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like everyone just shits themselves and then they fuck up and then it's like...
There's so much to think about and to plan for when you're going there. You can't really just spend all your time focusing on preparing for Snatch Game. Let's move on and do our yenas and nayes of the runway looks of episode 2 of Drag Race Downunder.
Category is Sickening C or C Sickening? What is it?
C Sickening.
C! Category is C Sickening.
You like seasick.
Let's have a little talk about RuPaul's makeup. It is shite. Very shite. It is like someone took, like, I don't know, black marker, gave her panda eyes. Oh my god, it's that bad.
She looks weird, a bit different. I sort of feel like Raven wasn't out of isolation yet.
Someone else did her makeup.
And the producers were like, Ru, you need to be in makeup.
She wasn't...
Figure your shit out.
Normally she's... But she was like...
I just think she looked a bit odd.
Yeah, no. No.
And the outfit was...
It's a no from me. It's a no from me.
Yeah, Ru gets a yeah, no.
And I think Ru should do the look for the runway. So if it's underwater theme, Do an underwater theme, bitch.
Or at least wear blue.
Yeah! So first up on the runway, we've got Art Simone in her swamp creature, mermaid, siren, creature from the Green Lagoon.
I love the muted colours of it. I was like, wow, like you would think that this would not be bright enough and colourful enough for the runway, but I like the mutedness and the sort of sea green.
Art is really good at doing that grotesque beauty.
Yeah, grotesque beauty, you know, with the teeth, the dark eyes. For me, I'm thinking of it because I've seen everything and comparing to the other ones.
Oh yeah, no, we have to grade it.
Yeah. This is a nah yeah for me, but quite a positive nah yeah.
This is a nah yeah for me.
Next on the runway, we have Kidamine in her, like, octopusy jellyfish thing, queen of the jellyfish, I guess you could say. This really surprised me. I did not expect Kidda to come out with something so amazing, especially following up Art. You know, Art has sort of set the bar coming out first. I think this is really cool and really pretty.
I think this is very glamorous for a campy queen.
The hair's really cool. I love the hair. You know, I wouldn't normally like that kind of spiky thing, but I don't think it would have made sense with the rest of the look any other way.
Jellyfish, it's got you know, it stings you.
Yeah.
So it's got spikes. Yeah.
Like a sea urchin, sort of.
For me, it's a hell yeah.
This is a hell yeah for me as well.
I think what also makes it even more is a surprise. It's a surprise, like, you'd be like, oh, I could totally see her doing, like, Ursula, like a traditional Ursula
really
costume.
camp costume.
But, like, she came out and she was, you know, just floating down the runway, and it was just beautiful, beautiful.
Chef's kiss. Mwah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Next up is etc.
What do you think?
I like it. Etc. has a old 1920s, 1940s, you know, starlet vibe to her. So I think this is kind of a nod to that, because it's kind of like, what would the underwater theme be back in that era, which would be like the scuba men in those big helmets.
Scubaman
in the helmets and stuff.
This is definitely something I wouldn't be my initial thought when I was, you know, of a sea themed costume. Quite a masculine outfit, you could say, and then revealing the beautiful, glamorous, you know, finger waved hair and beautiful makeup underneath. I think it's really cool and different. You could say that it, you know, it's in comparison to the others, it's a little bit not simple but plain, I guess. But because of that, it also stands out as well. So for me, this is a hell yeah as well.
For me, it is nah yeah, just a nah yeah, nah yeah.
Next on the runway we have Coco Jumbo, and she did like an Ursula-esque thing. She's got white hair, black outfit, purple whatever.
Goblet glove thingies.
I really like the hair. Oh my, her makeup looks really good. Makeup's beautiful. I didn't understand how the judges didn't
get Ursula from this.
Get the like.
Well, how Michelle didn't get Ursula from this.
And Michelle was sort of like,
yeah, Reese was like, I get Ursula, and then she's like, Ursula's purple.
Ursula
like,
literally has black.
Like, if Coco Jumbo came out in purple paint, then they would be like, oh, it's too costuming. Compared to the others, it just wasn't elevated enough. Normally, it would be like, this is amazing, this is great, because it is. But it's because everyone else is amazing and great. You're like, ugh, I needed to go that one step further.
But for me, even in saying that, this is still a nah yeah.
Yeah, nah yeah. Vanity did the wig.
Yes, she did.
Fishtail. Fish fingers. No, fishtail braids.
Fish fingers?
Yeah, because
fish finger braids.
Because Michelle didn't like her, and then I love it. Like, she was like, "What are you talking about? They're all fishtail braids." Oh, next up we have Anita Wiglet in her beautiful siren-inspired outfit. I love it. I love it. Kidda and Anita, they're both known to be campy queens, so it's good that they've now got this opportunity to show their individuality, but also to show something a little bit different than just a normal camp drag. Them both showing this side of kind of fashion a little bit, you know what I mean? Bringing fashion and art to the runway, especially in Anita's outfit. The concept is perfect. It's windswept hair, but then obviously, you know, you can imagine it under the water. The dark tones to go with the kind of siren-esque story that she was talking about. Pretty mermaids that lure the men to their graves and shit. So it's a very burlesque-y, vampy siren.
Are you gonna let me speak?
No. It's my show now.
I love how the whole thing is very organic. I don't actually know much of Anita other than what we've seen on House of Drag. But yeah, so seeing this like full glamour runway model look is really cool.
Well, Rue even said to her, was like, are you always like this? Like, you know, like when they were having their little chat, like, you're always like 100% and being like,
Her attitude with this was really chill and like, I am beautiful, look at me.
Yeah, exactly. Next.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh, what is it?
Oh, sorry. It's a hell yeah. Hell yeah for Anita Wiggling. Yeah.
It's a hell yeah for me too.
Hell yeah.
Next on the runway, we have Maxi Shield in her dripping with pearls, old lady auntie, whatever her story was.
Mother of pearls.
Mother of pearls. Is that what she said?
Yes.
I like that. That makes sense. I really like it, even though the judges
They didn't like it.
didn't like it at all.
I don't think they did. They were like, oh.
Obviously, a sea theme, pearls, that makes sense. It's not necessarily under the sea. It is a gown, so it doesn't give that illusion of, you know, there's no like, you know, like the others had the tentacles or extra bits or whatever. But I think it's really
She's
cool.
got pearls on her face.
There's pearls. Is that a shell necklace as well?
Yeah. Like I loved it. I loved it. I loved everything but the hair. I reckon she could have done a foamy and it would have looked really cool. Oh, like a pearl encrusted foamy would have looked amazing. But everything else, I loved the dress. I loved the dripping with pearls. I loved her makeup. So I loved everything but the hair.
Nah, yeah, for me.
It's a hell yeah but the hair.
Hell yeah, but not the hair.
Hell yeah, but not the hair. Next, we've got Electroshock in her lacy dress
with green hair.
With green hair. It's pedestrian, definitely does not meet the mark of everyone else there in this runway. If you sit them all together, hers is probably the worst. It doesn't have a concept, you know, sickening, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that vibe from this look whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a no. It's a yeah, no. You said everything.
It's a yeah, no.
Next up, we have Karen from Finance. This is so not what I would expect. Well, it is. It's camp and fun and hilarious.
I think this is so good. This was such a shock. Karen's been branding herself for the last few years, and this is so reminiscent of the old Karen. The old Karen was very she was still Karen from Finance, but she was out of the box and did crazy, kooky stuff. It's totally camp. Like, I totally didn't think she would turn around the corner as a purple sequin shark. It's a fuck yeah from me. So that's better than a hell yeah.
I love it, but there's one thing that I do want to say. In the future episodes, I would love to see Karen do a full, you know, pageant, glamour, gown, serious moment. But, I'd love to see her décolletage and her shoulders. I just think it would be really cool. I hope she does at least once pull out a full glam look.
Yeah, but you're being like Michelle, and normally what happens is when they do what they want, so like if she does the glamorous, then she gets kicked off. That's what happens.
Karen, this week for me is a nah yeah. A definite nah yeah.
Oh. Mine's a fuck yeah.
Well, no, it's a hell yeah. Karen for me this week is a hell yeah.
Yes, sir. Ooh. Next up we have Scarlett Adams. and she looks beautiful as the coral reef, Great Barrier Reef. It's very nice and colorful. Like, she's beautiful, she's good at her makeup, the hair looks nice. I love her and hate her with this look because
this is something that you've been wanting to make for me.
Yes, I'm a little bit jealous. I have been thinking of making some sort of structure outfit similar to this, using the same materials and stuff, and you kind of beat me to it, and so I'm a little bit envious and a little bit like but I love it. It looks beautiful, looks stunning. It is hell yeah for me.
At first I was like, a bit thrown off by all the different colors. Wasn't sure if I got it, but then knowing that it's based off a coral reef, and this is like, what you said, the Great Barrier Reef, right?
Yes.
Which is actually where we are today. As you can see behind us, this week we are at the Great Barrier Reef.
Which last week we were at Uluru.
Last week we were at Uluru. And I don't know, it'll be next week. Maybe you can leave a comment down below and tell us where we should go. I think we should maybe...
Get a big banana!
Maybe we should go across the pond and go to New Zealand. The bubble is open. But yes, the Great Barrier Reef, this for me is definitely a hell yeah as well. So now we get to the judging. We have Anita Wiglet, who wins the challenge.
Yes, rightly so. Her runway and Snatch Game, tick,
etc. is safe, as well as Kidda. 6 left over are in the bottom, up for elimination.
Which I think it was just because it was all mediocre,
Well, the Snatch Game was mediocre, but the runways were quite even.
Yeah.
Other than Electra, the runways were very equally good, so you couldn't really mark anyone down. And I guess Electra's Moira was funny enough to bump her up a bit. This episode, the guest stars, whatever they're calling them.
Oh, yeah.
They're not guest judges. We had Danny Minogue and Kylie Minogue. How exciting. Russell's very angry and has opinions.
Sorry, let me just start my tangent. My tangent is, why frickin' announce to the world that we're going to be having the Minogue sisters, both of them, not just one, not just Danny, but actually have Kylie as well. We don't have Night of 1,000 Kylies. We don't have a Kylie song. And they're not even there. They're just like, Kylie Minogue's phoned in and Danny Minogue gets on a fucking computer, not even on a big screen TV, on a computer in the room where they're all like huddled around. Put that computer next to the desk next to Reese. Wheel in a big screen TV, please. Like, what's going on here? What is this? Like, everyone huddled over like, oh, hello, can you answer this question? No. Yeah, lately, like on... I've seen it on MasterChef where they've had people on they have these big massive screens and they're able to talk to people. Why couldn't we have that? Why couldn't we have Kylie Minogue? I am a big Kylie Minogue fan and a Danny Minogue fan. Okay, yeah, maybe, I get it. They can't freaking afford it. They can't freaking afford Kylie. You can't afford Danny Minogue's song?
In the workroom when they were talking, and they were talking to Danny, all signs were pointing to, I totally thought that that's the song that they were doing, was put a needle on it. Put a needle on it. It's almost as if, like, they changed it at the last minute and was like, no, you're going to do a Rupaul song.
They're trying to save money. The prize money shit.
Oh my god, they wouldn't have to pay any royalties for a Ru song.
No, they don't.
Oh, well, fuck you. I'm really disappointed that they did a Rupaul song, and after last week being the Bee Gees, which, yes, technically, if we think it's Australian, Queensland, whatever, I don't care. I really want to see some Australian music.
Yeah, save the money. Save the money and get the Kylie. Get the people that freaking matter. Like, I'm really annoyed with the production value of this, because... Seriously, I could make it look better in my backyard. You know what I mean? Give me $500. I'll go to Kmart and Spotlight and I'll have it looking twice as good. I can make things that are shit look $1 million. Unfortunately, not today. But normally, she looks $1 million. And that's because of me.
So lip sync happened. It's a Rupaul song. I don't know why. Coco and Art Simone are in the bottom. Shock horror. Obviously, everyone did not expect Art to even be in the bottom. Art didn't expect Art to be in the bottom.
Soz bitch.
And I can understand that Coco would do better because Art what I feel is art isn't really a top 40 pick a song off the radio and lip sync it. Any arts performances are always very quirky or have a concept or have a story to it. So the right person won the lip sync, and then all hell broke loose. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Out of anybody, not even just on the show, but any drag queen in Australia, Art Simone would have the most pressure from the public, the most pressure from her fans, and the most pressure that she's putting on herself as well. If you think about it, Art Simone is already at this level up here, and she has, out of all of them, the furthest to fall. And I guess you could say she fell, but she's
herself
definitely using this situation to her advantage now.
That means nothing. The meme of the season. I'm pretty sure none of the, like, there will be other memes, but that is the Miss Vanjie. So we've got the Miss Vanjie. I can understand when you're upset, the editing, they would have tried to get try to get the worst out of her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that when you're in those moments, it's very hard to compose yourself, and it's very hard to not let yourself be taken in with the editing.
Don't give them what they want.
Don't give them what they want.
Yeah.
You know?
I was a little bit disappointed in Art's attitude, to be honest. Yes, emotions are high, but it was a little bit arrogant in a way. One thing she said which sort of irked me the most was, I'm the strongest one here, which implies to me that she from the get-go has just already decided that she's the best of the bunch. She needs to go away, she needs to go right through and win. But obviously, as you can see from the runway from this episode, everyone was so amazing. Like, Art was great, but then they all followed it up with just as equally amazing looks. So I think Art underestimated the other girls and what they are capable of. And that sort of saying that was sort of a bit of a slap in the face to all the rest of them. Sometimes
you need to be a little bit humble, but I think that they obviously caught her off guard. You know, we've been on a TV show once. Yeah. They are wanting to get emotion out of you. They are wanting, and the people who are on Drag Race, the people who are on Maths, the people who are on Bachelorette, Bachelor, they are there. They're there to plant the seed. They're like, did you hear what this person said about you? Did you hear this? Did you hear that? They are there to play on your mind, and you get caught up. They want to get the worst out of you because that is good television. In saying that as well, I just hope, because I've heard about rumors, she may come back into the season, and I just think it would be a little bit unfair, especially with everything that has been done now after the episode, and to make everything better. I think it would be a little bit unfair that, you know, it kind of looks like, you know, dummy spit, and then you get back onto the show. If it doesn't, she's been doing amazing. She is amazing, and she'll continue to be amazing.
If she does come back in, if that rumor is true that she comes back at some point, I would hope that she is a little bit more humble and doesn't underestimate the other girls, and isn't still assuming she's the best and expecting to just go all the way and win. It's sad to see her go, but I'm excited to see all the rest of the girls grow and see more of them.
So that was our yeah, nah, and nah, yeah
for episode 2 of Drag Race Down Under. Join us next week for episode 3, obviously.
Follow us on social media.
Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if there's anything that you want to ask us. Obviously, as Australian queens, we can give you some insight into Australia and Australian drag, and any questions you might know. We do know some of the girls as well, so if there's any insider knowledge that you might want to find out, we might be able to answer those questions. So leave a comment down below, and please also share this video to your friends. You know, we want this channel to grow and this series to grow as well, so please do that.
Yeah!
Go on.
Hooroo!
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
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 I did did used to say that.
Yeah.
See you in the next video.
See you in the next video.
Bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Video.
Say bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What's the bread?